or as the first priority at the beginning. I believe as a ministry work, we should not exclude them. But how? Well, to motivate them, that's one thing. And the other thing is, how do we get through their storytelling if they cannot tell the story in a good piece? One way to overcome the technical part of storytelling is to do a dialogue. You lead the way. You ask questions, they respond. And you retell what they tell you, you retell it. When you edit the story, you can edit out their part. Just keep your paraphrase. And that will form a story for all. That can be done. Or you may want to retain some of their original in a different version, because that's how you get to know the person. So if we save these two versions, one is to release to the public, the other is for next pastor to know this person. Right? That's two different users. One recording, you have two different products. And the most amazing thing is once you record somebody in video, it could become their family treasure. It could. It should be. Because after the person passed away, then you regret, why we didn't make more?
Well, do you think it always has to be a video? Because I think about a few years ago, Tony and another man and I did a little book called Amazing Grace, and we had stories from people all around the presbytery, and just a little tiny book. And they were all very different, but they were written stories.
We need to read.
So, and they read very differently. The whole stories were very different. But, if you don't have the capability, I think, of someone in your congregation to do the video, would you encourage then writing a story?
That could be done. I think I say it in any form.
You can do both.
Yeah.
Journaling can be really, really good as a preparatory thing for talking.
Right.
Because you write, you get your mind into it, and it's surprising the sort of things you see.
If writing is the only way you can get it, you get it in writing. If audio recording is the only way, you get the audio recording. If you cannot get anything, it just depends on the third party to pass along. That's fine. Somebody told me this story and I'll retell to you. That's fine. Yeah, anyway, we don't have any video recording of Jesus' act. Well, I think that's fine. That to get to to motivate these people, there are two kind of people. One is say, "Oh, my life is so plain. I'm nobody. I don't have story." The other say, I'm not good at articulation. I cannot tell story. We have to convince them that we're looking for this kind of story also. We don't care about whatever most people consider as a quality. We want the raw material.
Right.
This is the catchword. The researchers need raw material. The manufacturer needs raw material. And out of the raw material, we can process, we can create good things. So don't worry about how you say it. Just give us the stuff. Because the way I imagine, the new way of editing, right now I'm trying is, instead of bringing the whole 1 hour video, 1 hour recording, share it, the whole 1 hour, I cut it into smaller pieces. And I say, well, there is a subject on this, 3 minutes. I show you the 3 minutes. There's another subject of this.
Well,
And
we
I
all
might-
have such short attention spans now.
Yeah,
We don't have
yeah.
the time to sit and watch
Yeah.
an
When they see 3 minutes, they might take a look.
Yeah.
When they see
Yeah.
1 hour,
Yeah,
wait.
they say, we don't have time.
So I create smaller pieces plus a playlist. a playlist will have a combination of many smaller pieces. You want to look at the longer one, you do the playlist.
Yeah.
The what list?
The playlist, that's a
Playlist.
YouTube term.
Playlist, yeah.
Playlist is
Okay.
a list that string many pieces together in
Yeah.
a sequence.
Yeah.
It can be done very easily. And it's easier this way than to edit the whole 1 hour.
Mhm.
Yeah. To edit the whole 1 hour into one piece, it's cumbersome. It takes time. So my understanding is actually following Jesus. That's the kind of story we want. That's the kind of people we're looking for. We're not looking for professional storyteller. We're not looking for professional story writer. We're looking for ordinary people that God created. Because God allowed them to be ordinary. And out of that ordinary life, God has message for us. Well, I would say we have to build the project based on this kind of theology. Right?
Well, and I think, the church is an important place to be able to connect with people
Yeah.
and build relationships, and this is a way to do that.
Mhm. And there's no need. Nobody is forcing us to have certain progression. Say, before this day, you have to have so many. It's up to us to build as we go. So we might start with one story, and we might, by the end of this year, we might have 3. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, we just grow as we can handle. And sooner or later, we have to reach the point where we need a database for the whole presbytery to keep track of all the stories in every congregation. That way, everybody can say, I want to look at the story of your church. I want to look at the story of this type. And we get many, many stories to play with. Well, that's the vision. Someday we'll reach that. And having that, we have the potential to attract the pastors to come to this presbytery. Would you agree with that? Because the presbytery will show some characteristics, some legacy, something valuable, more interesting than other presbytery.
I think, our first impression of the church starts with the myth, and, you only get so much information. They only give you so much space to write down your information. If you have a video,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be, even give you a lot better understanding what church is.
Mhm.
I go back to you said talking about making a video for new members.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your thoughts on posting videos on your website? So if someone who's looking for a church clicks on your website, and it can click on a few stories.
It's possible, and I would encourage that, but it has to be very careful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have to be very
Yeah.
careful about what to post
Right.
in public under the church name.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would say post it individual stuff in YouTube, something like YouTube, and the church website can bring it in.
You can use that.
Can
as a way
link.
to link it in,
Yeah.
yeah.
That way, when you see something strange afterward, after you post it for a while, say, wait a minute, this video is not right one. You can cut it right away.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you have someone that does it under their own YouTube account, if they decide they don't want that posted anymore, they can take it away right away. Gives them
Right.
that power.
And when you do it in YouTube as an individual posting, it's free.
Oh, yeah.
You don't pay anything.
Sermons on the YouTube.
When you keep it in your church website, you grow the size.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely. So,
Now, perhaps if a church website want to include that, you might have to go through the editorial board to really think about why we want to include this particular video here.
right.
Yeah,
You
especially if it's a story of our congregation.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you guys-
it could be touchy.
If you can get someone who does 5 minutes of talking about what the church means to them,
Hmm.
that might be a powerful way for people to know who we are as a congregation.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
It might encourage them,
Yeah.
well, maybe we'll come visit, or,
Yeah.
no, that's not my church, you know.
Mm. But some people raise that issue about, why do you think this person represents our congregation?
Uh,
Yeah, I can see that.
And this person has such and such bad reputation.
Mm.
mm.
And there he is on our website.
That
yeah.
that could happen.
Yeah.
That's why I say, well, if you want to do that, well, keep it aside, separate from the official website. That's a different story.
Sure.
If we want to include it in the official website, that's
I guess, could you say, like, you know, one of our members, so-and-so, made a video about what our church means to them, and you can see it here at this, on YouTube? And
yeah.
link them
That's
over
that.
into YouTube?
Yeah, that's the way I would do it. Just keep it separate from the official.
Well,
Yeah.
we have like
Time to
5
go?
minutes before
Yeah.
we need to be out.
Okay, can we wrap up? Anybody want to make a summary of what we gone through and what we achieved? Is this anything fresh to you or
Oh, yeah.
anything interesting?
I think it would be fun if somebody wants to tell a story.
I can tell a story how I started this.
There we go.
Okay.
In 1975, I came to St. Louis. I went to the School of Social Work at WashU. The first course was a marathon group. We spent 3 days and night in a big hall to learn the group dynamics, group work. And we record everything on video and review and talk about. That's how I first got involved with the video. And then some professor offered a course, like video techniques in social work. Now I took that course. And I was hooked. At that time, video recording was still very expensive. There's no consumer product. The camera was very expensive. But I was hooked. So I continued to watch until I couldn't afford a camera. Until someday my brother gave me his old camera. Say he bought a new one and he gave that one to me. So I started playing with that, the V8. 8mm, that kind of thing. Well, anyway, but I continue to think about how to use this in many ways, and I haven't stopped. But the good thing is, I continue to develop the new thinking and new question, new issue about using this, how to use this, and I found it's amazing, it's really amazing, and I really think, if I can ever make a contribution to this world, I hope this will be the one. Yeah, by introducing people to this technology and really use it in a constructive way, especially in a church. Oh, that's my wife. Okay, now that's my story. Very brief, didn't touch any big part, but what I'm trying to get is, it takes me 30 years or 40 years to come to what I said today. It was not this way before. It grew gradually. Even the handout I have, original idea was to post it when you register. When you see the flyer, you have a chance to see what this course is about. But I keep changing the content, and I didn't have a good way to really post it so everybody can see it. So it ended up that we could not preview before. But this is my goal. My goal is, when I do my Sunday school teaching, I'll do something like this, and I will distribute it before Sunday. I have a church newsletter I distribute before Sunday. So when the people come to my Sunday school, they know what we are up to. And they could jump right into the discussion without anybody instruction. I spent too much time doing the instruction today. But that's the idea, and I hope this will be the first stone to inspire. And if you don't mind, if you write the consent form and leave it for me so I can keep in touch with you, continue to discuss with you. Perhaps you want to give it a try. I can try with you first, or you can try it on me. The easiest way is to try to get story out of me, and you get the feel of it. And when I'm ready to cut and release the video, the recording, I can ask you, hey, this section, I think you were in there. Do you feel comfortable? I heard your voice. If you feel comfortable, then we release. You don't, then we don't. You know. And I hope someday, I sent this handout to Anita also last night. So I hope gradually we can trigger something, and we can start something. Hoping that this be a new way to mobilize the presbytery at a new level. Because it used to be just the ordained people. We need to get the non-ordained people involved in the presbytery.
Thank you,
I believe
Tony.
that's the only way to keep the presbytery alive.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody tries something. See what you try.